Hello everyone, this is Tori Cushing with Authority Labs, and I'm here with another tutorial, and today's is going to be in Screaming Frog with a specific emphasis on page titles. So I'm sure you've seen Brian LaFrance's most recent post in Authority Labs that was called Google Doesn't Think Your Page Titles Are Good Enough, and it's basically going over what Google is really looking for in your page titles. And it brings up a good point that we probably don't have our page titles as optimized as they should be. So with that in mind, I'm going to walk you through how to use Screaming Frog to really optimize your page titles and see exactly where your problems are. So let's dive in. Now that I've run my crawl for authoritylabs.com, I just entered the URL into the spider, hit start. Again, these options are free in Screaming Frog, which is super amazing. I'm going to go over to my internal tab and I'm going to look at the data under here. So I can see that my different landing pages and my addresses. I can see my Title 1 and my Title 1 length and pixel width. So this is character length and this is pixel width. I can go ahead and reorder these two by just clicking on them. And now that I'm in here, I can see that for this blog post about Mac Cuts, the title pixel width and the title character length are both way too long. In Brian's posts, we saw that the most optimized, and bring this up here, the most optimized length of a title in the SERPs is between 50 and 60 characters, or 59 to be specific. Moz also did some research that narrowed it down to 55 characters as the optimal character length for Google. Dr. P did a great analysis on title tag guidelines. So bringing that back to Screaming Frog, we can see that 88 characters is way too long. We can see here that Screaming Frog also released a blog post on page titles, and more specifically for the pixel width, and said that you should definitely limit these characters to under 512 pixels for the width. And they actually have this filter for the page titles tab for anything over 500 pixels, which is super helpful. So hopping back into Screaming Frog, we can see here that we could go ahead and just bring in this data into Excel and throw in some conditional formatting to see which title lengths are over 59 characters and which pixel widths are over 512 characters, and really look at how well our titles could be optimized. So that's in Excel, and I went over how to do that in a previous post. But if we want to stay inside the tool and do some analysis in here, we can do that. So in the bottom section here, which is horribly ignored half the time, you can go ahead and resize it to make it bigger, which I'm going to do by just grabbing these dotted lines and pushing them over a little bit. You can see here, if I just click on one of the rows, so I'm going to click on this blog post, I can see a whole bunch more data on this specific landing page. So I can see the status code of it, I can see the size of it, I can see the level from the home page to this page, I can see how many links are going into it or out of it. But I click, and then I can actually click through it and see specifically what those links are. I can see image info and how my alt text is holding up. But the coolest thing is a super awesome tool called the SERP Snippet. So I'm going to hop over here. This thing is awesome. Super awesome. I can go ahead and edit my page titles in here and then export them, which is so cool. So you can see here that I have a preview of what my result would look like in Google. I can also change the device, so I can change it from desktop to mobile to tablet, which is another really cool option. I'm going to keep it at desktop for now. And I'm going to go ahead and just delete part of this page title and add in a little meta description. Now, once that I've done that, I can scroll over here and see a characters and pixel chart. And I can see that my title is in the green. It's the appropriate length. My meta description is in the green, although it probably could be longer. And I can see that my pixel width is in the green. And I can also see how many I have available, how many I have remaining, etc., etc. And then we can go ahead and change and see how these results change between the mobile, tablet, and desktop, which is also really cool. So if I want to start over and I say, maybe I totally messed this up and that's totally not the wrong, or that's totally the wrong page title, I can go ahead and just reset the title and description with this button right here. Now there is a little bit of a bug. If I start to edit this page title and I go crazy with it, and then I'm like, you know what, let me check on that other page title and see how that one's doing, and then I go back and try to reset the title and description, the button is broken. So just keep that in mind. When you're editing one of these in the SERP snippet, go ahead and stay with that until you're finished editing it. Otherwise you get situations like this, which I can fix pretty easily. Another cool aspect is if you scroll over any of the features here, you can get a description of what they are and a little note about them, which is really cool. So I would definitely encourage you to explore this option more, especially if you realize that you have a whole bunch of titles that aren't optimized correctly or maybe too long, and you want to go ahead and edit a bunch of them at once. This is a great tool to do that. So I can go ahead and edit this and then go to my next one and edit this to be the correct length. Go to my next one, edit that one, optimize it better. Obviously I'm just deleting right now because I'm going through it for example purposes. Then once you have all of your title lengths, the correct length, then you can go ahead and just hit export and bring that into Excel or whatever tool you want to use, and then pop that back into your website. So super cool option with Screaming Frog. Just keep in mind that if you start editing these, you want to make sure that you're just aware that it's going to export these new titles. So just keep that in mind. If you want to export an analysis, you may want to do the editing of your title at a separate time. Okay, so with that in mind, I'm just going to go ahead and export this. Okay, so now I'm just going to insert a quick table. Get rid of the grid lines, add a little buffer. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly add in some conditional formatting. I've gone over this in several other tutorials, so it's going to be pretty easy to follow along with. I'm going to start off with conditional formatting. If it's less than, say if it's less than 200 characters, then it's probably not that great. What we really want to focus on if it's greater than 512 characters, or sorry, 512 pixels, then we go ahead and format those in the red. Say if it's between 201 characters and 511 characters, we say that it's in the green. It's good to go. So really simple conditional formatting. We can go ahead and do that for the title length too. If it's greater than 59 characters, let's make it red. If it's in between, I don't know, 40 and 59, then it's good to go. And I chose 40 because actually in Brian's blog post, we could see that 49 is an okay title area. We really want to shoot for 50. So I can actually go ahead and make the conditional formatting between 50 and 59 super green, and then I can make the values between 40 and 49 in the yellow. So you can say it's not bad, but we could probably add in a few more characters and really optimize it for Google. Last one I'm going to do is less than 40 characters. Let's go ahead and make that red again. Cool. Now you can see all of your page titles and really get a view on which ones you need to optimize. Then you can hop back into Screaming Frog and optimize those with the SERP Snippet tool. Thank you so much for watching my Screaming Frog tutorial, and good luck optimizing your page titles. Bye bye.